Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm glad to have you. Whether you're here as a hater or a lover, all energy is welcome. Um, I'm going to make another video about alchemy today. Alchemy is a massive topic, like I stated before, and it can be quite complex. So it's something that we could develop thousands of hours of videos on. But something a lot of people, you know, have trouble with is understanding the nature of alchemy and what it really is that I'm on here talking about alchemy about. And alchemy is basically the chemistry of life. So, and it's a bridge between the metaphysical and the physical. And by a bridge, I mean it is that connection point between the mind, the body, and the spirit. So if you just imagine you have the mind, the body, and the spirit, it is the line that connects them all. And what I mean by that is alchemy is the chemistry that's happening in between each of those aspects of the self. It is what connects them all, binds them all, and it is affecting each and every one of itself. If you comprehend the mind, the body, and the spirit, then you comprehend that the mind affects the body affects the spirit affects the body, and the body affects the mind, and vice versa. They all coalesce and they all exist as one, ultimately. So, and I think a lot of people in my everyday life, people that I know, have trouble with making that connection. I think once you know, and there is no unseeing it. So if you take the time to listen to what I'm saying and give yourself an opportunity to comprehend what I'm saying, then you will never unsee this. It's something that will become vastly important and powerful in your life because it's something that affects everyone. Every human on the planet is affected by alchemy. So, by saying that alchemy is the bridge, I'll put that in another perspective. So, if I am in a bad state of mind all day long, say I got a negative mood or a negative thought form that's consistently running, a program running in my mind all day long, that does affect the body. It produces chemistry in the body of stress, chemistry within the body that affects your metabolism. It affects your heart rate. It affects your entire your entire beingness. So it affects your biology. That's what I'm getting to. So the mind does have effects on biology. We know this. We know the power of the placebo effect. And a lot of people, they know this, but they don't really contemplate the implications of the power of the mind on the body. And I guess I should really quick say what the spirit is. Every human body has an electromagnetic field. Your heart generates it. And that electromagnetic field is what a lot of people will allude to as your aura. And it is not your soul. So a spirit is not a soul. A spirit is your electromagnetic body. And in Eastern practices and in other spiritual practices, they're very well aware of the multiple layers of bodies that you have. And one of them is your electromagnetic field. It is affected by the mind and affected by the body. So if your mind is consistently in a negative state of mind or stress, or in a state of stress, then your mind is altering your body. It's increasing your heart rate, and your heart is affecting the electromagnetic aura around you. So if you comprehend and understand spiritual warfare, then that is typically one of the easiest ways in for what people think of as demons, which demons are not, what you see in the movies, and it's not some kind of, nasty monster. Those are all manifested by human imagination. We created into that. So, but it's not what it is. It's energy. It's just a negative energy, and that can be manifested as a thought form. It can be manifested as a disease, or it can be manifested as a spirit. So it's like a negative energy. So again, alchemy is that tether between all three of these parts of thyself. And alchemy is malleable. So when you take authority over the mind, then you are taking authority over the body, and you are taking authority over the spirit, and it becomes one and the same. And this is what ascended masters used to do, like Jesus or Yeshua, and also like Saint Germain, and there are Eastern ascended masters. There are ascended masters from India, and even from Mayan cultures and things, and the native cultures here. So ascended masters were those who mastered this ecosystem of the mind, body, and spirit. So alchemy, being that tether that ties all of these things together, is the way in which you heal yourself in all ways. So if you really want to master yourself, then you contemplate and meditate on the implications of alchemy. You learn it, you practice it, and then you become the master of alchemy. And that is what an ascended master, is doing. Okay? And again, I spoke in my last video that was relevant to alchemy, what it is in a more practical sense. So an easier way to comprehend what alchemy is when you transmute like a lower substance into a more valuable substance, so turning lead into gold. So when you transmute fear into faith, anger into passion, right? Carelessness can become courage. Lust can become love. So when you are transmuting a lower thought form or a lower emotion into a more valuable substance. So if I'm having a thought form that is stressing me out all day long, let's say it's something that's coming tomorrow or something that happened yesterday, and I'm failing myself to be in the present, in the now, then that thought form is running, and it's affecting my heart, and it's affecting my spirit. If I take time to go into meditation and I allow myself to transmute that thought form into a more valuable substance, then I am doing what's called transmutation, and I am practicing alchemy, and therefore I am mastering myself. So it takes practice, and it takes time. But to not see it as overly complex is very important, because you don't want to intimidate yourself from practicing alchemy. For hunters out there, if you want to transmute something like a negative energy, go on a hunt. Let's say, well, I know that when I'm stressed out, this is something that I do that makes me more peaceful and transmute, myself. But you don't want to lock that negative energy into a file and then come back later to it, because then you're not really transmuting the energy. You're just avoiding it. And so if you go hunting, you want to take that peaceful time to hold that energy, hold that space, hold it where you are, and keep it there. But you're doing something that also brings peace. So you're alchemizing, right? It's like a chemistry set. You're putting two chemicals together. You're alchemizing, and you are dampening down the negative forces that are with that thought form or that experience, and you are transmuting them into something that's more positive, right? So meditation is absolutely important when it comes to alchemy. Contemplation is very important when it comes to alchemy. So both of these aspects, both of these practices are tools in alchemy, right? And I'll do some videos on meditation. I'll do videos on contemplation, because a lot of people, they know how to contemplate, but there's more to contemplation than just contemplating. That's why it's called contemple, right? Contemple. It's the temple. You're going into the temple. And there's a reason why this is called the temple, and why a temple is considered a sacred space, because it is a place that you would go, a sacred place that you would go and go into the temple. So contemplation, meditation are tool sets when alchemizing, and they're super important. Oh, there's my daughter. So I hope that this video kind of helped in kind of vibing with what alchemy is all about. I probably missed a lot of what I really wanted to talk about, but I'll make more videos in the future about it. And I just want to say that alchemy is not some kind of mystical, crazy thing. It's not something that is, that is not real. I mean, if you listen to what I'm saying, then you will comprehend that it's a very real thing. And I think it's something that we're missing in America. We're really missing alchemy, and we're missing out on a huge part of being a human being and the power that it has. And again, it affects your biology, and it affects your spirit. So it will help you in spiritual warfare, and it will help you in healing your body. So peace out. Much love, everybody. And this video is probably all over the place, as you know how I am. But take what resonates and leave the rest. Much love.